Hey guys, it's been a long time since I did a video, so today I'm going to start, after a long time, with the Tesla Model X. I wanted to do a video on something that's a great piece of technology, and really the Tesla Model X is a great piece of technology, and I'll show you why. So, let's start with why should one buy the Tesla Model X. So, as it says over here, it's the safest, fastest, and most capable sport utility vehicle in history. So for safest, they were a 5-star in the NHTSA reading, which is the safest SUV in production right now. Fastest, it can go 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds if you have ludicrous mode on the P90D, which is even faster than the Bentley Bentayga, which starts upwards of $200,000. And this one, if you get fully upgraded, it's around 143, I think. So it's faster than that, which is much higher than this price. Also, most capable, probably because it's got tons of storage. So there's the frunk, which is also known as the front trunk, which you can store a lot of stuff in because there is no gas engine. All it has is 2 electric motors. And also there's the trunk, where there's a ton of space. Also, you can fold down the rear seats to get even more space. So let's go down more. So they start with the safety. So because the battery is mounted so low, it can basically do turns super nicely. It can basically maneuver like a sedan, even though it's so much bigger, because it's got such a low center of gravity. Also, that reduces its rollover risk, and it's very strong for like collisions. It won't really give way to make the car extremely safe. So they made the huge battery pack. They actually used it on their side, as many other car manufacturers have used it as a disadvantage, and Tesla really did something on using it on their side. So over here they have the frunk that I was talking about. They also have the HEPA filter, which removes, I believe, 99.97% of bacteria to make it as safe as a operating room, if not safer. The battery supports side collisions, the floor-mounted battery, lower center of gravity, as I spoke about, and it can brake in case of emergency, which, if you look on YouTube, there are tons of videos about how on their Model S's it's been incredibly useful. So that's the active safety, and also the HEPA filter pollution. So the Falcon wings. So this has been something that has been debated for by a lot of people on how it's it's something that uses a lot of space. Except if you watch the video, which is up on this webpage, it actually requires less than a foot of room to open. So even though it looks like something that would not be designed for tight parking spaces, they've actually done quite something to make it work in tight parking spots. And that's why the Model X shipped so late, because that was quite something that they had to do. Now, how is this better than a minivan door, like the sliding door on a minivan door? So, also in the video, they show how the minivan door, it slides out, but then the minivan door itself takes a lot of space, so you can't really fit through the gap that's left by the minivan door. However, this can open that same amount of space, and you get the whole access room on the side to get into the car, which gives you plenty of space and really makes the Falcon Wing doors really useful, other than just being a great fashion statement. And how they're able to do that is because they have 2 hinges. They have one over here, and they also have one over here, so that it can go up and then go out. Unlike other gull wing doors, which are only one hinged, such as I believe they're on the Mercedes SLS or AMG. I'm not completely sure. But the Mercedes, their gull wing doors, they're only mounted on one hinge, so they can't open in tight spots like the Falcon wing doors, and hence the name Falcon wings and not gull wing doors. So, aerodynamic. So it's able to achieve 257 miles. This is on the 90D market, and also it's super aerodynamic because first that happens because of the floor-mounted battery. So it's really just one piece on the bottom, unlike in a gas engine where there are tons of pipes, which really stops the airflow or slows down the airflow. Also in the front, it's curved and it comes down pretty low to make it incredibly aerodynamic. So its drag coefficient is really small. Now, Big Sky, it's the panoramic windshield. Now, I personally love this. I've been inside of a lot of Model X's, inside of different Tesla stores. I also did the test drive. Really, you can't really experience it by just looking at this. You really have to sit inside and go and drive it. If you just look up, you can basically see anything. And even in the nighttime, you might see, oh, whatever, you can't, it's not a big difference. But you can see all the stars. It's really a beautiful view that you can't get even if you open up your sunroof, because there's still that gap of like the roof between the sunroof and the windshield. It's really beautiful. Seating for 7 plus gear. Now, the 7, as I'll explain later, it's an upgrade that you have to buy, but it comfortably seats 7 people. Now, that's debatable. I'll explain that also later. But gear. So, how does it fit the gear? It's actually because you can stow luggage underneath the seats. It's actually just mounted on, I believe, one post, or maybe it's 2 posts, and you can fit stuff underneath. Unlike in other minivans, as in the Odyssey or the Sienna, or even other SUVs like Audi Q7 or something, you can't really fit stuff underneath how you can do it in this car. Of course, there's a lot of space in the trunk and a lot of space in the front, which allows for either as much storage as a Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna, or even more space than an Odyssey or Sienna. Everything fits. So basically, it's got the hitch, which used to be a free upgrade. Now it's $200. It's not really a big deal. I suggest that you get it. I'll explain later. Basically, you can put whatever you want on it. Also, it can tow 5,000 pounds if you buy the package, which I'll also speak about later. Now there's the charging estimator, which is about how long will it take to charge and all that stuff. And then we get down to the specs. So this is all the stuff that comes normal with this car. So regular over-the-air updates. This is the same with the S. I will actually be making a video on the S, so watch out for that. I'll speak all about the S and the differences between the X and the S. Also, free long distance travel on the Tesla Supercharger. There's maps and navigation. The center console, of course, which has the quick connection phone dock, which is basically you can blind holster your phone in because it can align with your phone. And GPS enabled home link. This basically allows you to drive up to your house and it'll open the garage without you pushing the button. And also, if you have the smart air suspension, which I'll explain later, it'll raise the suspension so you don't crash into your driveway. Safety, electric all-wheel drive. This is a $5,000 upgrade on the S, however, it's free on this car. Active safety technologies, side collision, it can brake. The sensors, parking sensors, same sensors. Full LED headlamps, so basically they last a long time because they're LEDs. And they're really bright. They're beautiful. You can see a lot with these headlights. Power folding, heated side mirrors. So basically they can fold if you're in a tight spot. And you can put in child seats. Then, largest glass panoramic windshield in production. It's beautiful. Falcon wing doors, keyless entry, the rear lift gate, of course. And the largest interior storage capacity of its class. And the front trunk, or the frunk, which can fit quite a lot of storage. Even though it may seem small, you can fit all the small stuff in there. And it comes with 8-year warranty for infinite mile battery and drive unit. And 4-year 50,000 mile limited warranty. So, now let's talk about why would one buy a Model S or a Model X over any other car that could basically do this stuff. So basically, we can compare this to a Honda Odyssey. We can compare it to an Audi. We can compare it to Toyota Sienna. I'll refer to Toyota Sienna and Odyssey as just minivans, as they're pretty similar in what they do. So this car will start at it's actually $84,000 now, and And the minivans will start probably around 50K. So this is 30,000 more, which is a big amount of money. And why would you pay that? So first, there's the windshield, which is just beautiful, and I would definitely pay at least 2 to 3,000 for, because it's really something that you can't experience anywhere else. The Falcon Wing doors, they make a fashion statement, right? And also, it gives you more capability to get out of the car in tighter parking spots, which, trust me, I have experienced in parking garages and on the streets. I mean, I'm in the Bay Area. Of course, there are tons of cars. Parking is tough, and this would certainly help over there. Um, Storage. So basically, people would think, oh, it's an SUV, it doesn't have that much storage. Like if you look at any other SUV, they don't have any storage over here in the front. They only have storage in the trunk. But because it has storage in the front, it can basically allow for more storage than a minivan, or for sure an SUV. Now that would probably just lead to maybe about a $5 to $10,000 value, but there's still the left 20,000 between a minivan or an SUV, which is cheaper than this car. So how would you make back that money? So I calculated this with a Honda Odyssey, which I own, and that one, if we look at gas for 10 years, it would go for about $25,000, because trust me, minivans eat up a lot of gas, and you don't have to worry about that on this, because it's electric. Excuse me. So basically, you don't have to worry about gas. Electricity is super cheap, and if you install solar panels, way cheaper, right? Because you're not paying for the electricity anymore, and you just have to pay for the one-time cost of solar panels, which you can eventually work off pretty quickly. So that's the left 25,000. Also, on the 80,000, you get tax rebates. So federal gives you $7,500 tax rebate. So that cuts the cost by a significant amount. And if you're like me and if you live in California, there's another $2,500 that gets cut because of tax incentives. So for these reasons, I seriously think that the Model X, it would still be a car that would be worth buying, even if it started at even a more expensive price, because of the performance that it offers, the safety, and of course just the looks of the car. It's a beautiful car. So now let's go on to why should one buy a model. Which Model X should one buy? So there's a design studio, of course, as they had in the S, and it looks like that's not loading. But so let's start with the paint. So there's the solid black and the solid white, which are included in the 84,000. Actually, I'll change this to cash. Or 83,000. Sorry, I was wrong on that. And then there are these colors, which are $1,000 more, and then these two, which are premium colors, which are $1,500 more. Now they refer to these as multi-coat, but these two are not multi-coat, but these are also all multi-coat. Now, I'm not personally a big fan of the pearl white. I just don't like white cars. And the red, I mean, it's a popular color. It kind of looks a little cheesy in this. My favorite color is definitely the blue. It looks sporty and it looks luxurious. It's a great looking color. And why would you pay $1,000 for color? Because honestly, this black also looks great. So, if you're planning on having this car for a long time, probably 5-7 years plus, you would probably want to pay for a paint, because these two colors, they're only a single coat, and basically if you get a scratch or something, you can see the inside metal, and it really doesn't look good. So if you're planning on keeping the car for a long time, to protect from erosion and all that stuff, it's really best to go with a multi-coat color. So I'll select the blue for now. Now wheels. So there are these two wheels, which are 20 inches, and there are these two, which, oh, they raised the price to $5,500. Back when I was checking, it was $4,500. But so with these wheels, because they're 22-inch, you get less range, and Uh, but you do get better handling. So I personally prefer more range, so I'd go with these two wheels. However, I gotta say these black wheels, they look really good, and if you're going for looks, most certainly you should get these. These also look good, but I'm a fan of the blacks. Um, Now what's the difference between these two? Basically, this one's $2,500 more. There's really no performance or anything that I'm aware of. Um, I personally like the look of these more. I like the turbine. I don't really like this. It looks kind of ugly for my taste. So I'd go with these tires, plus $2,500 cheaper. You can't go wrong with that. Now the interior. So I like the light headliner because with the dark headliner, it just becomes really dark. It becomes I don't know, it kind of lowers the mood. So I like this. Now the decor. So the dark ash wood decor actually doesn't look that bad. It's great when it's included. Now there are these which are $750, which I guess considering that you're buying such an expensive car, it's not that big of a cost. So you can look through these. I think the 750. I think this is probably the best looking if you're gonna pay $750 for the upgraded interior. There's also the carbon fiber, which looks decent. I mean, if you're going with the carbon fiber, really, it I don't think it's really worth it. I'm not a big fan of that. The seats. Now, this is something that has been debated a lot. So these multi-pattern seats, basically they're leather over here, synthetic, I believe, and then this is a fiber. Now, these seats actually aren't that bad, because they're breathable, and also the leather. If you buy those, they would crack, and eventually they start to look bad. So actually, these multi-pattern seats, I'm actually pretty good with them. I don't have a problem with those. Now, if you're gonna go for a leather seat, I personally like the tan. I think it looks beautiful. The black also looks good. Really, if you're going with the black, you might as well just go with the multi-pattern because it's $2,500 more. And I mean, considering that you're buying such an expensive car, you want to look on saving as much as you can. Now, the white seats, they say that includes a stain-resistant coating, but I mean, I don't really know how much stain would it protect. I'm always worried about that. Like, I don't know, you drop something on it and then you get a bad spot. I don't like that. I'd say if you're gonna pay 2,500, go for the tan. So we'll leave that. But if you don't want to pay that, the multi-pattern seats are a great choice to go with. Now let's go down to the battery. So the 75D, 237 miles of range, 6.0 seconds 0 to 60, and 130 miles per hour top speed. So we'll not really worry about top speed over here because really, you can't go over. I don't think that there are any speed limits over 70. Anywhere in California at least. So we'll not worry about that for now. Let's look at the range. So the 90D, this is I believe a $10,000 more. Oh no, it's actually more than 10,000. It's 12,500 I think. No, it is 10,000. My bad. So, basically, this one it gives 20 miles more of range, and it reduces your 0 to 60. So, basically, um, if the 20 miles is a big difference to you, certainly go with the 90D. If you're fine without the 20 miles, which I think the 20 miles more of range would have been a big difference if you were buying a Tesla a couple of years ago. But now, really, with the superchargers and how fast there's so many superchargers around the world, basically, I'm a good fan of the 75D. However, if you've got the money and if you like the better 0 to 60, then go with the 90D. Um, the P90D. This is really for someone who likes the performance in their car. You do sacrifice 7 miles of range, you have to pay more. But you get the active spoiler, which is pretty neat. It gives you a lot of stability and performance. And 3.8 seconds. That's really something to experience. Now, when are you going to use that? You're not going to use that every day. It's really if you want to show it to your friends, if you just want to have fun on like a drag strip open road. If you just want to have fun, definitely go with that. We'll leave it at the 90D for now. It's something in the middle. Ludicrous speed upgrade. Well, that's not available with this, but if you're gonna get the P90D, do you want this? It's $10,000 and you get a 0.6 second faster. Now this is if you really have a lot of money, which I don't, then you can get this, but $10,000 for more speed, I don't think it's worth it. Most definitely not. Active spoiler, it's optional. Definitely get it, because it's free. You don't have to pay for it. And who doesn't want an active spoiler, right? It'll go down when you're parked, and it also adjusts to give you more stability. Unless you don't like the noise or it moving, which really, no. Just get the active spoiler, I think it's best. Red brake calipers, it's optional. I'd say definitely go with that because they look beautiful. The red looks great. Unless you want it to like be kind of subtle, then you don't want that. Now the seating. Now this is something that I've heard a lot about. Which one do you want? So I went the other day and I checked out the 7-seat interior. Actually, so I'm adult sized, and this seat wouldn't go all the way back if I was sitting in the rear seat. So I can't fit in that. I mean, if you have a child who would be willing to sit in the rear seat, then yeah, 7 seats good for you. Or else, I think the 6 seat's the best because you get this middle pathway over here. And the seat can go all the way back if you're sitting over there because you get more space over there. But that's $3,000 more for one seat. I don't know if it's really worth it. Really, 5-seat interior, it's free. You get 2 seats more in this for $4,000. You get 1 seat more for $3,000. Is it worth it? That's for you to decide. I like the 6-seat interior, so we'll go with that for now. Autopilot. I think that this is a upgrade that you should most definitely get because the autopilot that Tesla's made is something that's really different from anything else because it can stay in the lane, it can make turns, it can read the speed limit, adjust to the speed limit, and summon's pretty great. It'll pull into your garage, it'll open the garage and shut it. It's really just something that's really cool. And it's $2,500. It makes your highway driving much easier, so I think it's definitely worth the $2,500. Also, Elon Musk says that this autopilot, it will allow you, so if you're in New York, you can summon your car from San Francisco, and or it was Los Angeles, I forgot what he said. But you can summon your car across the country with the current technology that's in the car. So I think that that's something that's pretty cool, and I think that you should definitely get it. Premium upgrades. So, is this package worth it? It's $4,500, and it requires the leather seats, so you have to get it with the leather seats. I don't get why do they say when paired with leather seating, because it's always paired with leather seating. So basically, the doors will open as you come to the door, and as you push the brake, the doors will close. The HEPA air filter. So I'm in Mountain View, and I guess I don't need the HEPA air filter because there isn't really that much like dirty stuff around here. Carbon air purification. That's always good, except for that's more useful, I guess, in a gas car because it's electric. There's not that much fumes. Ventilated seats. So if you're in a hot area, this is definitely something that you would want because it keeps the seats cool. Leather armrest. It's really just a luxury thing. Leather everywhere. Some accents. The LED ambient interior lighting. So really, it'd do like this lighting over here. Just a luxury thing. And LED turning lights. So as you turn, the lights also turn on that side to like give you more visibility. LED fog lights. And the quick connection phone dock, I talked with the Tesla salesman, and he said that the phone dock is actually included, so I think that that's a bug on this website. So really, this is the car that makes it this is the upgrade that makes it that premium car. Is it worth it? That depends if you're willing to pay, well, $4,500 or $7,000 if you, because it also requires the leather seats. You can't get this with the multi-pattern seats. So that's something for you to decide. Smart air suspension. This is really cool. It requires it on the seating for the 6 seat and the 7 seat. You have to get the smart air suspension. But really, what is it? So you can adjust your ride height wherever you are, and so you can bring it higher or lower for more stability. And why is it smart? So basically, as you're on the highway, it will lower it for, I believe, better stability and maybe, I think more aerodynamics. I'm not really sure about that. But also, as you get home, as you pull into your driveway, it'll raise the ride height so that your front doesn't get scratched as you're going into the driveway. Sub-Zero weather package. So this is $1,000. It's really not a big cost considering how much you're paying for the car. And it gives you seat heaters throughout the cabin. So basically, you can heat up any seat instead of just the front seats. Also, you can heat the steering wheel and the wiper blades. They're also heated, so you won't need those scrapers anymore with this. So if you're in a place that's cold, you should definitely get this. It's totally worth it. Ultra high fidelity sound. So it's $2,500. I'd say go with the leather seats instead of this because the sound system in the Model X is already super great. This is really, if you're like an artist and you really need that great sound, then sure. But you don't really need this upgrade. I mean, it's great. The sound system is great for everyday driving. Towing package. So it's $750 because it doesn't add anything. It just adds a software. So basically, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds if you want to tow a boat, if you want to tow an Airstream. Whatever you want to tow, you can tow with your Model X. And this hitch you can use for bikes and all. Or you can just get the accessory hitch, which is just a small hitch. I mean, it's $200. I think that you should just get it because it's pretty cheap, and if you ever want to carry bikes or whatever. Also, you can open the trunk with this on, so that's pretty great. So I think that this is something that you should definitely get. And then the charger upgrade. I don't think that this is worth it because unless you are like someone who is constantly coming home, charging your car, and then have to go out again, I don't think it's worth it because, I mean, for the normal person, you're just going to charge your car overnight, you're going to go to work, you're going to come back, charge overnight, and repeat, right? So I don't think that this is something that you would need. It's also $1,500, which is, well, I mean, sort of expensive. So, yeah, I don't think that this is needed. So basically, we've gotten to 102,200. Now, I mean, if I change this down here, 92.2. So I think that this is basically like the average cost that you would pay for a Model X. And I think that this is definitely a car that is worth it. And so check out the Model X. It's a great piece of technology, especially with that touchscreen in the middle. It's beautiful. And please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. Thank you, and keep watching for new videos. Bye-bye.